Joining us now is global entrepreneur and business strategist Ruble Chandy.
The international entrepreneur and best-selling author Ruble Chandy.
Great to be with you, Melissa, and good morning, Houston. Yeah, in a second, I'll tell you the 3 mistakes that managers make all over the world in managing their people, and that is causing them pain and confusion and lack of efficiency, lack of effectiveness, and then having so many team conflicts and so many other things in businesses. But before that, let's talk about what is performance. What is performance? And let me give you a simple definition of performance from a unique angle. Performance is a social behavior, which means if you have a group of people who are, all of them are working great, but except for one person who's not efficient, who's not performing, who's not committed, then your entire team is going to fall eventually. It's weird, right? It's as if, right? It's as if that one bogie in a train, like imagine there is a train with so many bogies, and one of the tire for one of the bogies starts failing, then the entire train is going to fall apart. It's like that. So we talk about like having a chain, like if you have a chain link, and that's the strength of a chain link is the strength of the weakest chain. You might have heard something like that, right? So that's how team is going to be, literally. Like imagine a bunch of birds flying, and one bird is like it's confused and it's actually going down. It might actually take out the rhythm for the entire other group of birds too, right? So that is exactly what is happening in team performance too. So team efficiency is a social behavior. It's a social behavior. When a group of people are performing good, then they are performing good. If a group of people are performing bad, they're performing collectively as bad. If a group of people are performing great, that means everyone in the team is functioning. Not 80% of the people, everyone is in the team is functioning. So that's something that you need to understand before I get into the 3 mistakes. And also, like, how the mindset is as a CEO, as a manager, as a VP, or as a senior person in an organization. Make sure that you lead by example. If you're lazy, don't expect your team to be hardworking. If you're inefficient, then don't expect your team to be efficient. If you're not effective, if you're not intelligent, and if you're not intelligent about how to manage your time, how could you expect your team to manage that time efficiently? First of all, you don't have a clear blueprint how to efficiently manage your time. And if you don't have a blueprint to manage your time, then you naturally use your point of view, your worldview about time management upon them, because you're the manager. You kind of are influencing them, and your influence on them will stop them from being efficient. So lead by example. That's really important. So what are the 3 mistakes? Mistake number 1, not trusting your team members. So if you're actually leaving one person, if somebody is in your team and you don't trust them consistently, then they shouldn't be either in your team or you need to start trusting them. One of that has to happen. So if you don't trust somebody in your team, essentially, you shouldn't keep them. It's unfair to them. It's unfair to you. It's unfair to them in a sense that if you're keeping a person you don't trust, then essentially you're just pretending to like them. You're just pretending to give them compliments. You're pretending to like them, and so on and so forth. Internally, you're like, I don't trust you anyway, and they would subconsciously figure it out, and then that would stop them from collectively performing together. So either trust them or fire them. That's the thing. Second thing is follow-up. The biggest mistake that managers make in terms of not having efficiency for their team members, not having proper effectiveness for their team members as well, is not having enough follow-up. So what does that mean? It means that you might be a really good manager who might be giving so many tasks to your team members. You're really good at delegating, but the thing is you're never following up. You're doing everything else, but you're not following up. Then your people are not going to be efficient. Because humans, we need that follow-up. We need somebody to ask us, hey, what happened to that? What happened to this? What's the status of this? And if you give them some dates and say, okay, August 31st, you need to do this thing. And then August 31st is passed. And then it's December 30th. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, what happened to that project that I gave you 7 months ago or 4 months ago or 5 months ago? All of a sudden, they know that you have no control on your situation. Naturally, they know that things are going to slip through the crack. They don't need to do it. So you're actually giving them a clear message a social animal behavior that, you know what, I don't need to do shit. She's not going to notice it. So that's why if you give them a date, you need to ask them a follow-up. Or if they give you a date, you need to ask them, follow up with them, make sure that they understand that you're serious about this date. So that's really, really, really important. And so essentially, you need to have a follow-up list. If you use like softwares like Asana, Trello, Slack, or something, come up with like some system where you could actually have a follow-up list. I call it important follow-up list, IF. So IF, write their name, and then what are you following up about, right? So that's what you do. Another thing that you do is, if you have a really, really, really important follow-up, you call them MIF, so which is most important follow-up. You might have only 1 or 2 or 3 of this. Like you're like, this is something that I do not want to miss, right? So if you have a project that is like really most important follow-ups that other people are handling, you might want to follow up with them once in a while, like once in 2 days, once in 3 days, once in a week at least, to make sure that it's making progress. Okay. And final thing that I want to share with you today is efficiency versus effectiveness. So efficiency is, it's a management concept. If you look at it, how do we maximize the resources? So there are 2 types of resources, human resources and non-human resources. Let's call it systems, right? So system resources and human resources. There are 2 different approaches to handling them. So the system resources should work on efficiency. What does that mean? Which means that your machines, your systems, your software, your tools, everything has to be maximized for efficiency. So that resources, the system resources, non-human resources, has to be maximized for efficiency. Okay, so that's how we need to manage that. Hopefully that makes sense, which means we need to get maximum productivity from our machines, from our softwares, from our tools, from everything in between. Makes sense? People should be optimized for optimum effectiveness. So it's a 2 different things. Most people don't differentiate between these 2. So people should be optimized for effectiveness, which means that we don't care about like how efficient they are. We do care about how efficient they are, but we don't care and make sure that they are maximally efficient. What we care about is they're optimally effective. They're optimally efficient, and they're really effective. So what does that mean? Imagine a business. Their activity is like business activity is like cutting trees, and then a manager went with his employees and started cutting trees in a 2-acre field, and they're cutting, and it's almost like 1.5 acres of trees are cut, and the owner shows up and asks him, why are you cutting trees here? And the guy said, I wanted to be really efficient. I didn't want to wait for you. I want to be really, really efficient. Make sure that you're so proud of me. But the problem was he was cutting in the wrong land, the wrong location. So management, I think Peter Drucker said this, management is doing things the right way, and leadership is doing the right things. So doing things the right way, efficient way, it's really good for machines and systems and softwares. Efficiency is really, really, really important. When it comes to people, effectiveness is the key. You are not trying to get the 2nd or 3rd or 4th golden egg from your goose. Like if you have heard about this old Aesop story, like there is a golden egg, there is a duck that is giving golden egg or gold egg, one of those. And then the farmer is thinking, if I got 1 gold, I should be able to be really efficient in trying to get another golden egg from the goose. It's not a duck, it's a goose. Okay. Yeah. Today itself, that would be really efficient. What if I could get 7 golden eggs today? What if I could get 9 golden eggs? Let's not try to goosify our employees. Let's try to be efficient in managing your people to be effective. What does that mean? It means that let's figure out a way to give them some space, give them time. Don't overwork them. Don't try to take full advantage of them. Try to make them partners. Treat them as if they are family, as if they are your own customers, and treat them as if they are the one who's actually helping you to build a big company, especially if you want to build a really big company, right? So treat them as if they are the people who are building your dreams with you, for you. So treat them as if they are angels of your world, right? And that does not mean that you shouldn't correct them if they make a mistake. No, you will correct them when they make a mistake. You will correct them. Sometimes you might yell at them. I don't know. You might be really strong with them. You might tell them when they make a mistake. You might be passionate about it, but you sincerely care for the team. You sincerely support them, and making sure that you are focusing on effectiveness. You're looking for a 10-year relationship or 20-year relationship, 25 years of relationship. And then in that 25 years, they should feel proud that they had the opportunity to work with you, right? That was a phenomenal experience for them. So don't try to take advantage. Like, we don't want to optimize our capital like a true capitalist. We want to be a little bit of a social capitalist who cares for the people enough to have long-term maximization of capital. Long-term maximization of capital. What does that mean? It means that in the short term, you might need to make some sacrifices. When they have a wedding anniversary or when they need to take an off, support them to take that off so they are refreshed. But in the long term, it's going to help you succeed as a big company, especially if you want to build a big company. All right. So generally speaking, take care of your people, trust them, follow with them, focus on effectiveness when it comes to people, focus on efficiency when it comes to non-human resources. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll talk to you another time. We'll talk soon. Okay. Bye. Thanks.
You had to go through some crazy experience in your life. I understand that, but you can change that today.